Meet Jensen. He runs the most valuable company on the planet, and almost his whole fortune is riding on a bubble that might be about to blow up. His company, Nvidia, makes the chips every AI in the world runs on. About 97 cents of every shiny he owns is locked inside that one stock. On paper, that makes him richer than entire countries. On paper. Because last month that stock hit the highest price it's ever seen. A company worth around 5 trillion shinies. Then it started slipping. And this week, Ray Dalio, one of the most famous investors alive, went on TV and called the whole AI boom a bubble. He says it pops the moment the big players rush to turn paper shinies into real ones. So when it bursts, who actually burns? Not the guy who built it. Og can promise you that. You're in on Jensen's bet, too. You never placed the bet, you're holding it anyway. This is who really burns when the AI bubble pops, explained. Start with the boom. Every company in the jungle suddenly wants AI. To build AI, you need Jensen's chips, the expensive magic stones that do the thinking. So everyone's buying stones. Nvidia makes more shinies than almost any company in history. Fair enough. Real product, real demand. But here's where it gets weird. The biggest buyer of the magic stones is a wizard called OpenAI, the ChatGPT company, the one promising AI will soon do everything. Tiny problem? The wizard bleeds shinies, a lot of them. Reportedly around 14 billion this year alone. So how does a wizard losing that much keep buying billions in stones? Jensen hands him the shinies. Read that again. The guy selling the stones is also funding the guy buying the stones. Shinies leave Jensen's pocket, land in the wizard's pocket, and come straight back to Jensen as a chip order. And it's not just these two, it's a whole circle of the same dozen companies passing the same shinies around, more than 800 billion of them, spinning in a loop. Every lap, it looks like demand. It looks like growth. It looks like the future arriving. A lot of it is the same shinies going around the circle wearing a different hat. And guess whose retirement is quietly propping up the whole thing? Now watch what that circle did to your money. That stock everyone's piling into didn't just make Jensen rich. It quietly swallowed the whole market. A handful of giant tech companies are riding the AI wave. Call them the Magnificent Seven. Last anyone counted, those few stocks make up around a third of the entire S&P 500, the index almost every working caveman's retirement sits in. Your 401k, your pension. The safe, boring, diversified account the jungle told you to feed for 40 years. It's not diversified anymore. It's a bet on AI wearing a boring sweater. You never placed the bet. You're holding it anyway. So when Dalio warns the bubble pops the moment big players cash out, look at who can actually cash out. Jensen can. He's been selling chunks of his own stock on a preset, pre-scheduled plan for over a year. Perfectly legal? It's just what the big players do. Quietly turn paper shinies into real ones while the price is still high. Your shinies are locked in a retirement account you can't touch for decades. You can't sprint for the exit. You don't even know you're standing in the building. So let Og get this straight. The chieftains who blew up the bubble can step out whenever they please. The tribe that's actually funding it can't move an inch. And one of the richest cavemen alive just went on camera and told you exactly how this ends. He's not the one who gets trampled in the stampede. You are. So what's this costing regular cavemen like you and me right now before anything even pops? Look at your power bill. Those magic stones run hot. They live in giant sheds called data centers that drink unholy amounts of electricity. By some counts, data centers now swallow roughly half of all the new power the jungle is adding. Guess who pays to build all that out? Not the tech giants. You. Take one corner of Virginia, packed wall to wall with these sheds. A man there had lived in the same house for 40 years. One winter morning, he opened a power bill for 281 shinies, nearly triple what he'd paid the month before. Across the whole region, families are watching their bills climb just to keep the AI machine humming. So you pay for the bubble twice. Once at the wall socket today. Once in your retirement the day it pops. So what can we do about it? Watch the exits. When the cavemen running these companies start selling faster, they have to file paperwork, and that paperwork is public. When the smart shinies start heading for the door, you can see it before the stampede. The tribe just has to look and ask your jungle's lawmakers one boring question. Why is Grandma's retirement allowed to be one giant bet on AI? It's a free jungle. Maybe the AI really does change everything. Maybe the wizard delivers. But if this thing pops, Jensen walks off with a real fortune. and the tribe's left holding a number on a screen that used to be a pension. So the next time you open your power bill or peek at your retirement balance, you'll know exactly whose magic stones you've been paying for. If any cavemen are worried, this is just a simple satirical explainer about a stock bubble. For legal reasons, it's about fictional cavemen in a make-believe jungle. And Og is definitely not your financial advisor. Please do not sue Og. This is just one beast in the jungle. There's a whole herd of them. The layoffs blamed on robots, the deals nobody's reading, and Og's going to drag every one of them into the light. You never placed the bet. You're holding it anyway. So if Og just showed you which door you've been standing at and what's been waiting behind it, do one thing. Join the tribe. The more of us watching the beast, the harder it is for the beast to keep telling each of us we're the only one getting bitten. We'll see you in the next one.